Good evening. Good evening. I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday evening. Arsenal just won a penalty shootout against Ongar. Probably butchered that name, but there we go. But yeah, I didn't watch all of the game. I caught about 25 minutes of the second half. I also caught the penalty shootout. It was funny because the commentary I was watching, they didn't even know it was going to penalty shootout. Most of the players had already swapped shirts. They didn't know it was going to penalty shootout. So I can't really give much update and comments on who played well and who didn't. But I did see the customary Aubameyang open goal miss, which he seems to have every game. But I'm not going to knock him. He's our top goal scorer. So Reiss Nelson, well done to him. He scored a nice goal. And yeah, we have one pre-season game left. But more importantly, tonight, this evening, the president of Lille has said this. So let me just get my iPhone out. He has said on an outlet over in France called RMC Sport, talking about Nicolas Pépé, he has said he is the one who made the decision. I think it should be made official in the next 24 hours. It's 80 million euros fixed. If we had pushed the deal out a little bit longer, we could have had 5 or 6 offers of the same size. Though discussions with Nico and his agents, the situation focused on certain clubs that they wanted to focus on. The 2 projects that interested the player. Well, I'm assuming that them 2 projects were Arsenal and Napoli. Earlier this week, a member of what the fuck? Really? There's like literally 2 typos in that sentence. But basically, he's saying it's going to be done in the next 24 hours, and that Napoli had basically gone in for him. So it was us and Napoli, which is surprising considering how talented this geezer is. So I'm shocked that it's only them 2 that were in for him. Obviously, that confirms that Man United weren't in for him, which a couple of Man United related journalists have tweeted out today. But that is shocking, really, when you think about it, that only Arsenal and Napoli were in for a player of that caliber, especially when some of the teams that didn't even bother going in for him are as bad or if not worse than us, i.e. Man United, who are on the verge of swapping Lukaku for Dybala, which is just hilarious. Why? What are you doing? You know, that club's more battered than ours right now. So at least we're going in the right direction. Big up everyone who's watching live already, nearly 500. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. But yeah, by all accounts, it's going to be announced tomorrow. Obviously, the game tonight was probably the reason why that wasn't announced. It would have took the gloss off of the build-up for the game. But yeah, anyone who did watch the game, let me know who played well. Because like I said, I only watched the last 20, 25 minutes plus penalties. And I thought Reiss Nelson took his goal well. Mkhitaryan's penalty was as bad as the guy who took his before him. So that was a downside. Aubameyang's open goal miss. Not sure about that one, but it just looked like we were a little bit off the pace from what I see. There was a lot of kids out there, which is a good thing. That's a good sign. Oli Inca, he looked like he was quite lively. Martinelli looked quite lively, but other than that, like I say, I only watched 25 minutes of it, so I can't really comment on who played really well. One thing I will say is it was all set up for Jeff Adelaide to miss the goal, miss the penalty, which won us the game, wasn't it? It was just written. It always happens like that. Granit Xhaka's penalty was quite fortunate, but in the end, I suppose you could say that was a very good penalty. He put it right on the corner on the post. Joe Willock, good penalty. Maitland-Niles, again, good penalty. So yeah, it was. I'm not quite sure about his run-up though. That was worse than Pogba's. Jesus Christ, what was that all about? So yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow now. Now the president of Lille has basically confirmed that we're announcing it tomorrow. We all need to be excited for tomorrow now. It's not going to happen tonight. I think we can put that one to bed and move on. But just going forward into a couple other little bits I want to talk about very quickly. Kieran Tierney, there's loads of stuff going around about him tonight and all afternoon really, that we are virtually done. Scottish journalists are tweeting it and some highly respected ones up there, even Celtic fans have said that on Twitter and other social media sites, saying that, look, if these journalists are saying it's done, it's done. So I think they're finally coming around to the fact that Kieran Tierney is coming to Arsenal. So hopefully that one will be announced next week. And I'm sure people will be tracking his flight from Glasgow to London, and then obviously spotting him at Colney with a little Arsenal bag in his hand for his medical and stuff like that. So yeah, it's all going in the right direction. I'm actually really, really excited for this season now. Now we've got Pepe, albeit it hasn't been officially announced by us. It's only really been announced by their president at Lille. Obviously, until it's announced, a lot of people are still going to be sceptical, which I get, but it's done. It's done. And it was only us and Napoli that were in for him by the looks of it, which is mad. I don't get it. Genuinely do not get it. But yeah, it's all good. And next Sunday, we kick off our campaign against Newcastle. So we're away. Normally, we're pretty poor away from home. Last year, I was at Newcastle. We won that game. Granit Xhaka scored a free kick that the keeper parried into the net, and I was right behind that up in the clouds. But we need to sort our away form out this season, and if we do that, we are right up there because our home form's decent. Apart from when we just collapsed the last couple of games, but other than that, our home form was exceptional, and we beat quite a few big teams. We drew with Liverpool, and he was taking off strikers to bring defenders on in that game. I think he took Firmino off for Matip, or Mane for Matip, and another 5-10 minutes we would have won that game. But obviously, Man United, we bashed them up at home as well. Lukaku with his customary 10 sitters every game over the bar and the post. And yeah, it's all going well at home, but our away form, if we can spin that around this season, then we're going to be pushing right up the table. So yeah, hopefully Kieran Tierney's going to be a gooner. Hopefully Arsenal do announce that Pepe is tomorrow, because I'm getting bored of waiting now. It's like, come on, man, just announce it. But obviously these intro videos take a little bit of time, and obviously the game tonight probably didn't help doing that today. But it's done. We're happy. We're all buzzing for the season now. And listen, for everybody who has joined, and there's over 900 of you, please do stick a thumbs up on the video. Not even 100 likes yet. Thanks to everyone in the chat. I will take questions and comments in a second. But next Sunday, keep your eyes peeled, because I am doing a live watch along with Guna Eagle Eye, and I think he's in the chat. He was a minute ago. So go subscribe to him. He's coming onto this channel to do a live watch along for the Newcastle game, which is something that I'll be doing every single away game this season. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Also on deadline day, I'm doing a 5-hour straight stream. Obviously toilet breaks and stuff like that. So yeah, I am doing 5 hours straight from 1 p.m. till 6 p.m. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that as well. If you are new, subscribe. This channel has gone mad in the last couple of weeks. 25k is incoming. So big up yourselves for that. And I do appreciate all the love. Some of you are a little bit sarky in the comments, and then I take it a bit personally and then realize you're joking. So Timmy, I do apologize for that, my friend. I deleted my reply to you. But yeah, let's take some comments. Let's take some questions, and big up yourselves all in the comments. 5-hour fun. Thank you, VP. Moderator in the chat. Sergio Hernandez in the chat, moderator as well, and Guna Eagle Eye. Like I said, go subscribe to him. You're going to see him a lot on this channel next season. So happy days. Who's worse, Xhaka or Denilson? I don't know, man. They're both boring, mate. Who is our defensive midfielder? And can we depend on Xhaka? Says Diok. Well, we can't depend on Xhaka. He's a liability at times, mate. When he's good, he's good. But we see that few and far between, unfortunately, mate. Are you concerned that we can't even beat Ongers? Says Easy Hander. Not really, mate, if I'll be honest. We've had pre-seasons where we've slapped teams 7 and 8, and then we've come into the season and got slapped all season. So it's more of a fitness thing. It's more of Unai Emery seeing where the team's at, seeing who's ready, seeing who he thinks could make it and giving them a last opportunity, maybe. Obviously, we've got Barcelona on Sunday. So yeah, it's more of a fitness thing more than let's get, oh yeah, look, he's playing shit, he's playing good. So I don't know. Like, listen, at the end of the day, the team that starts against Newcastle is going to be completely different to what starts tonight. So, you know, hopefully we see the front three. We see Pepe, Aubameyang and Laka against Newcastle, because their defence will just, well, it'll wilt. Make a video when it's announced. I will do. Thank you for that, mate. Pepe not confirmed until it's on Arsenal website. Do you think Willock deserves a run in the team? He is always seems to impress, says Les. Good evening, mate. I do think he deserves a chance, actually. I'd actually put him in over Xhaka. I'd put him next to Torreira. Torreira returned to training today, I think, or came back from his holiday today. So I don't think Torreira is going to start the start of the season. But I would go with Willock and Torreira with Ceballos just in front, and that would be my three. Then go with maybe, I don't know, Iwobi, Pepe. I don't know. It depends what formation. We could go with Aubameyang one side, Pepe the other, and Laka up front, and just go with one striker. So it all depends what formations he wants to play. Martinelli was the only standout player for me. Everyone else was crap. Good evening, Sergio. Listen, I've told you lot from day one that Martinelli is an absolute baller. Anyone who has joined the channel after I mentioned it, a guy who I speak to is a really nice lad. He's an ESPN journalist over in South America. Really nice guy. He's an Arsenal fan. Always chats to me on DMs and stuff like that on Twitter. And he said to me, Martinelli is top class, and he watches him. So yeah, I'm quite excited for Martinelli, if I'm being honest. I think he will get a lot of opportunities this season as well. So yeah, I do think that is something that can come through. And listen, if it does and he smashes this league this season, that £6 million is going to look like a drop in the ocean, because he'll be worth 46 million by the end of it. So fingers crossed that he does do that. Still waiting for the podcast, says Sky Tour Rush. Will the podcast will be out the first week of the month, every month? I'm going to record it on Friday, I believe, providing they don't bail on me, don't do a Gareth and all that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's going to be recorded this week. And then it will be out after it's been edited and stuff like that. It will be out in the first week of August. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Keep your eyes peeled. And every month going forward, it is going to be out on the first week of the month until I build it up into a point where I've got a lot of people that I can interact with to get on. Recognizable faces, ex-players, stuff like that. You know, I want to get a couple of you guys on at some point. Some of the subscribers, that'd be a good thing to do. But obviously, I want to get to the point where it's a regular thing every week. But to start off with, it will be monthly. So yeah, we'll take it monthly and then go from there. Stacey Ann Smith, good evening to you. I've just lost your comment. It's gone whizzing up there somewhere. Let me find it. Hey, good day, Lee. My opinion is that we do not need Zaha once we have Pepe, but we do need a centre back. Well, it'd be funny if we got two, and we got a centre back and him. It would be jokes, but no, I kind of agree. Listen, the focus has got to be on defence now. We've got the attacking threat. We've got the free ballers up front that should score an absolute hatful of goals this season. But now it's got to be focused on defence for the last 8 days of this window. And if we do that, we're in good stead going forward. But now we've got to make tough decisions in terms of midfield, because there's too many of them midfielders that don't want to do the dirty side of the game. They let runners run off them. Guendouzi's guilty of it. Listen, I'll give him a pass. He's a kid. But to play 47 times for Arsenal last season is high praise, fair enough. But you've got to bulk up, and I hope he has done that this summer, and I hope he don't just let people run off of him. He's got to be tactically aware. Granit Xhaka, again, tactically aware. Mesut Ozil, start tracking back, start putting a foot in. You know, if he wants it, then yeah, you know, he's got it. But he just don't seem like he wants it half the time. And when you've got three players like that are playing in that central midfield position, that highlights how shit our defence is. Because if they're not doing the dirty work, the defence are working harder, they're being pulled out of positions, and then it just looks like we're crap. When the reality is, the majority of the time, it's our midfield exposing that poor defence. Whereas when you look at teams like Liverpool, their midfield is right on top of that defence. There's no way they're getting through. That front three go and do their thing. The three behind that, and then the four defensively, all do their thing. Yeah, and we ain't got players like that. So that's why I hope Joe Willock gets a game, because he does do that side of the game. Obviously, Ceballos, we can see what he does. It's a new player. We don't know what he's going to do. And hopefully we go and get one more as well. But we definitely need Kieran Tierney. We definitely need a centre-back. Rickin, good evening to you, mate. Are we winning the league? Well, not this season coming, mate. That's for sure. Good evening, Roy the boy. Hope you're well, mate. Moderator in the chat. What do you think our realistic goals are for the season? Says Jared Rubin. Good evening, mate. Realistic goals got to be top four. Top four. If we can get a trophy, then that'd be fantastic. But obviously, I'll take a trophy over top four because it's all about glory, in my opinion. And fourth is third loser. So for me, it's always trophies over fourth. But the way the club's structured, the way the club want to go forward, Champions League would be epic. For Arsenal, look at the players we can sign in Europa League: Laka, Aubameyang, Pepe, players like that. We're possibly getting Kieran Tierney as well, who's passing up an opportunity to be in Champions League with Celtic and win title after title after title to come to a team that's in Europa League. So for me, Champions League, we'll then go. And when we've got Raul at the helm, that guy knows exactly what he's doing. That guy has worked at Barcelona in their best part of their history for 15 years. So we've got a top guy there. We've also interacted with George Mendes, which is something we've never done. That agent's never been on our list. That is something that we needed to do years ago. You know, these super agents, you've got to interact with them. If you want the best players, you've got to go down that road. And that's something we ain't done. Now we've got this regime in place. They're going to go and do that. And we've seen that already. George Mendes had a massive hand in Pepe coming to Arsenal. So, yeah, it's all good news going forward, but top four has to be the objective. Do you think Ceballos levels will fall off like Torreira did? Think in Spain they do have a break in the winter period, and you might not be used to playing in the winter. Thank you for that, Sergio. I appreciate that, bruv. I think that, listen, Torreira came in, and he came in off of the back of a World Cup. So he played the whole season. He then done a World Cup. He had a couple of weeks off and sat on the bench for a few weeks at Arsenal, and then it was intense because the league is intense. But the way he plays is also intense, so it's double intensity. I'm not so sure Ceballos will fall off like Torreira did towards the back end of the season. There was times at the back end of that season, Torreira was the worst midfielder in the team. And I didn't want to get on his case because he's new and you give him a little bit of a pass. But there was times where he looked shattered. And maybe that was down to the manager to drop him. Maybe that was down to him to say, listen, boss, I need a break. But I don't know. But I don't know. Listen, Ceballos has played in a Real Madrid team that dominate most of the ball. Arsenal will do likewise. They dominate most of the teams in terms of possession. So I don't know. I'm hoping that he doesn't fall off. Listen, if the guy lives up to the hype, we have got ourselves a fantastic player this season. It's whether he does live up to that hype, and you never know until they start playing games. Scott Smith, good evening, mate. Favourite Arsenal chant? Somebody asked me that the other night, actually. The Rocky Rocastle one, mate. Always gets a little tear in the eye, bruv. Always. It's actually surprising how many people don't know it when you're at the ground. When we stand up on the 7th minute on the anniversary and all that, the amount of people that tell you to sit down, it's like, come on, man, seriously? Do you not know who this guy is? Do Arsenal have the best attacking lineup in the EPL? Says Ahmed. I'm not sure about that, mate. That's a great question, though, and it's a good debate because, listen, Liverpool's front three are ridiculous. Firmino is one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. And Salah bags goals for fun. Mane's a baller. I suppose if you look at it at the end of this season, that'll probably give you the answer, mate. If we go out there and they outscore everybody or everybody else's front three, but look at Man City, they could pick any team and still have a decent front three. They could put Aguero or Jesus up front. They could have Mahrez on the wing, Sane on the wing, Bernardo Silva on the wing. They've just got absolute bags of ability, all of them players. So it's closing the gap at the very minimum. Would it be the best? I don't know. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I'd love it to be the best, but we shall see at the end of the season whether it's the best or not. The problem is you can have that attacking line. You need that defence behind you in midfield and defence. So that has been our Achilles heel for a very long time, and that is why we have finished 5th, 6th and 5th. So if we can sort that side of our game out, sort the away games out, which is something I do think we're going to do this season. I think we're going to do really well away from home. That counter-attack is going to be lit with M3. So I think we will start flying up the table. And listen, Tottenham and Chelsea and Man United, they're all going to be very worried with that front three. Man City, I don't know. Listen, we always lose at Man City. We always lose at Liverpool. It's always going to be difficult to go to them two grounds and try and get a result. But if we can try and get a result at them, even a draw right now, that's an improvement. Let's be real. So, you know, we've got we've got to just make sure that the next 8 days we make sure who is ready and make sure that the best team that is ready, not just the biggest names, but the best team that is physically ready starts against Newcastle. Will that include Pepe? Probably not. He probably won't start that game against Newcastle, but I'd love to see him start. Maybe he'll make his debut against Burnley in the following game. Well, I'm going to do a couple more minutes of this. Big up over 1,700 of you watching live. I do appreciate that. Please put a thumbs up on the video. It gets this channel noticed. It gets it out to non-subscribers, like all of you guys that have joined recently that never seen my videos before. It popped up on your thing, and that's because people like the content. So it shows it up, and that helps build the channel. So thank you very much to over 24,500 of you, thousand of you, sorry, that have subscribed. Let's do some more of these. Jonathan Rusk, would you rather Upamecano, Konate or Umtiti? If Umtiti stays fit, I'd go with him. If we could keep him fit, I'd go with him, mate. The front line of Arsenal have a great chance, but the back line, we're in 5th place again this season, says Latif. Well, that's the problem, mate, and that's the concern. And I hope Emery's worked hard, really hard this summer. And I hope some of them players step up and stand up this season, because some of them have took the wholesale piss for too long. Assad, good evening to you, bruv. Lee at the back post, goal. Nice one, bruv. Hope you're well. Guendouzi is more important to our midfield than anyone gives him credit for. Says Ken, listen, I rate him, mate. I rate him. The one thing I'll say is that some of his sloppy errors have put a lot of pressure on that defence. But listen, he's a kid. That's why I stayed off him all season. I'm not going to jump on his case. He's a kid. He was learning a new league. He was learning probably a new language. It helps when you've got the likes of Lacazette and Aubameyang, and he's gelled with them massively. So yeah, I'm gonna see how he gets on this season. I hope he plays. Listen, there was times in last season where he just picked the ball up and ghosted past people, and the confidence the guy's got to take the ball under any pressure, anywhere on the pitch, with any amount of players around him. You've got to give him credit for that. 19, 18, whatever he is, and just trying to run a midfield. That is absolutely brilliant, and fair play to him. So hopefully he has a good season again this season. The blind Guna Lee, I hope you're well. Thank you for that, mate. Appreciate that. Hope you're well too, my friend. I'm still not excited how we're still not announced him already. Probably because of the game tonight, best in the world 24. I think that's probably why. Lee, who should replace Mustafi, says Abu Ras. I think it'll probably be Rugani, but my choice would be Koulibaly, but I'm just getting greedy now, bruv. He reminds me of Fabregas. I think you're talking about Guendouzi, John, yeah? Very, very Fabregas-like in terms of the way he's got the confidence and the swagger, definitely. If he reaches half the level Fabregas got to, man, Jesus Christ, we've got a baller on our hands. Takuma Asano will join Partizan Belgrade. Said this a week ago, says Vladimir. Well, let's hope so, because that was a complete waste of money, wasn't it? Another masterclass from the previous regime. Also, one thing I'm going to say as well, Christian Bielik, that close to Derby County. I think that's going to be announced either tonight or tomorrow, maybe even Friday. But a lot of Derby fans are happy about that one, and good luck to him. Listen, I don't think he was the quality and the calibre to run our midfield or our defence. Good player, just never really got a chance to prove it at Arsenal. But £10 million, that's a good bit of business. And again, the club are starting to act like a big club. He's got a year left on his contract. He's going to Derby. It's £10 million. So happy days. Good bit of business from us, and it's a little bit of money back in from the Pepe deal, and something that we could use towards another deal, perhaps. So yeah, it's starting to spin around right now. So it's all good. It's all positive right now. How do the instalments work, Lee? I swear, I knew somebody was going to ask me that. Listen, I've said since January, for anybody who's heard this already, just switch off. But I've said from January that transfer fees are done on amortization. They're not paid up front, very rarely. Barcelona still owe Liverpool money for Coutinho. Barcelona took years to pay Fabregas off. That's how transfer fees work. So when people in the media go, £45 million budget, yeah, that 45, which is what I said in January, pays for over £100 million worth of players. And people go, oh, you ain't got a clue what you're talking about. Well, our £45 million budget has bought us Pepe for 72 million quid. So I don't know. Listen, we're going to go and do other business. Tierney's coming, apparently, if you believe all the reports. There's another £20 million, £25 million. So there's 90 odd million pounds. Adding Martinelli to that, adding Saliba. Obviously, that's for next year, maybe. So that might not be on this year's figures. But yeah, there we go. The Pepe deal is going to be announced tomorrow. It's going to be a 5-year deal. We're going to be paying £20 million up front, and then the rest is staggered over the next few seasons. He's going to be on about £140,000 a week, which in today's market looks an absolute bargain. So, yeah, absolutely buzzing for tomorrow. Hopefully, I wake up and Arsenal go bang. There's the announcement video. Going to answer 2 more questions. I'm going to get myself out of it. Should Nelson go out on loan? Says Okocha 291. I don't think he should. I don't think he should, mate. I think he deserves a starting place. Maybe not every week, but he's definitely somebody we can use off the bench. He's somebody who can start certain games, and he's brilliant, mate. I love him to bits. I think he's got everything to achieve, everything about him to achieve the highest level at Arsenal. So good luck to him, and I hope he don't go out on loan. Let's find one more question in this lot. Rank the top 6 teams' attack. Well, we'll end it on that call, Bean. So thanks very much. Before I answer that question, over 1,800 of you watching live. Stick a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Only 400 likes right now. So if half of you go and like it, it'd be 1,300. So thank you very much. Rank the top 6 attacks. I'd have to go with Man City first. Man City, they've got so much firepower down the wings. It's close though, but that front 3 for Liverpool, if we're going on a starting 11, Liverpool's is better. But overall, Man City's got the better wingers in terms of depth. So yeah, Man City, Liverpool, I'd say us third. I'd say Tottenham probably 4th. Chelsea, well, they've lost Hazard, so that's all over. So probably say Man United above Chelsea. I'd say Chelsea have probably got the worst front line out of the top 6. Lukaku, as much as we mug him off, is better than a lot of players. Let's be real. He's better than a lot of players. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, listen, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you very much to over 1,800 of you watch live. I do appreciate all the love. Tomorrow is apparently the day that Pepe signs for Arsenal. Then we'll see some right salt and Pepe on Twitter with all these salty fans. Anyway, big up yourselves in the chat. I do appreciate it. Don't forget tomorrow, about 11 o'clock-ish, I'll do my transfer update. Hopefully, that'll be something on Tierney. We shall see. And have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Take care, peeps.